Next up, we've got Trail, and presenting are Christina Gagne and Stephanie Margosian.
Good afternoon. My name is Christina Gagne, and I'm the CEO of Trail. Over 60 million people in the United States do not know how to use the internet. And yes, we know this sounds impossible, but it's true. Trail will be the path to digital literacy, helping people discover the internet. But how are we going to find people if they're not online? We'll get by with a little help from our friends, the libraries who we've been in beta with in California and other community institutions. But what do we mean by not knowing how to use the internet? What would it be like to hear about the internet and know absolutely nothing about it?
And this was from last summer.
That's a nice one. That's a great photo. You should post it on Facebook.
I brought some stuff to sell. I heard you could get me some money.
Sir, can anybody even hear me? Could you please? Come on.
Hi. Brought my resume. I'll just leave it here.
There has got to be an easier way to do this.
There's got to be a better way than this.
There's got to be an easier way to do this.
Trail's first platform, JobScout, provides a relevant context for learning digital literacy skills. JobScout is an online platform that teaches you the basic internet skills you need to find work. JobScout is a combination of lessons on how to use the internet, meets social gaming, and job-seeking tools. Simply put, it's for those who might need to master URL before they get to HTML. Let's jump into JobScout and take a look. Can I please see the web platform? So, JobScout user Jane Rogers is searching for a medical assistant position in San Jose, California. When Jane comes to the JobScout site, she's able to do 4 things. First, she can learn about the internet by taking a JobScout lesson. Second, she can actually build a resume through JobScout's Resume Builder. Third, she can look for a job and apply for jobs right through our site with JobScout's one-stop job shop. And finally, she can learn to social network and connect with other job scouters. Let's jump in and take a lesson. Since LinkedIn has become an essential tool in the job search process, we looked at our first LinkedIn lesson. Our lessons are text and screenshot based. Users know how far they progressed in a lesson by looking at the progress bar at the top of each lesson. At the end of each lesson, a user meets a game or a challenge. If successful, our users earn a badge. Our badges live on our dashboard in our badge drawer. There's over 39 lessons on the JobScout platform, so there's over 39 opportunities to earn badges. Next, Jane might want to go build her resume. JobScout's Resume Builder is a fill-in-the-blank resume system to take the guesswork out of creating a resume. Jane can fill in the blanks, save and print her resume, and then she's able to use that resume through our Resume Builder feature as well. Finally, Jane can go and commit the job search process. Now, many of our users are on the go, and so we'll switch over to our Android application to complete the JobScout platform. Can I please see the Android application? So our Android application mirrors what's available on the JobScout platform. Jane can conduct her job search. Once she conducts her job search, our little squirrel Skip will find her a job, and the job listings will appear on the platform. She can save a listing that she likes and actually manage that listing. The one-stop job shop allows our users to do 4 different things. First, we prompt them to read the listing. Second, find a contact email. Third, send in that resume they built through Resume Builder. And finally, schedule an interview. The interview scheduling tool on the platform accesses the calendar on your Android or iOS device. And that's JobScout. Can we please see the deck again? Data is very important to JobScout and to Trail because these are over 60 million people in the United States alone who are currently not served or underserved by the consumer web. The opportunity and challenge is shared for everyone in this room. Our initial market focus out the gate will be 2 groups. boomers, and the Latino market. Comprising over 40% of the US population, the opportunity is huge. And in fact, surprisingly, these two groups have shared characteristics in terms of their mobile use and their needs in the job market. But a great question is how Trail will scale. Public institutions like libraries, prisons, workforce development centers, and education institutions need both Trail's digital literacy services as well as the data that Trail provides. Trail's data analytics system, Compass, provides the metrics that organizations need to effectively serve people and meet reporting requirements for regulatory and funding needs. Our distribution model will be through organizations. In the US alone, there's over 300,000 organizations providing support services to our potential users. And libraries alone spend over $200 million on tools like ours, and this is just a small share of the market. Trail's ultimate goal is to serve the 5 billion people worldwide who also face digital literacy challenges. Trail's next move will be into the health space with Health Scout, and then into the personal finance space with Finance Scout, where we hope to also serve the unbanked. Today, we have two announcements. First, we'll be launching our platform in Spanish, with an eye on serving Spanish speakers in the US and in Latin America. And second, we're launching our Android application. We hope to help people like you and these guys discover the internet. Thank you.
All right. Trail. Judges, you guys want to jump in?
Well, so I'll start. So I love the idea of trying to get people on the internet who aren't on the internet and help them finding jobs and use the internet better. I've tried to teach people in the past, different people who are not on the internet, and I know it's really hard. How do you know that this is going to work? Have you user tested it? How do you know? I mean, all these companies spend a lot of time trying to make their interfaces as easy as possible for everybody to use. How do you know that your interface will be easier and will explain how to step through the interfaces better than what these other companies are doing?
Yeah, so we've been testing in beta through the libraries in California for about a year. And so we started out with a small group of libraries and tested out some initial lessons. From there, we took those lessons learned and iterated. And so we've been getting feedback from librarians, educators, and users themselves for over the past year, which is how we arrived at the English version of the site and also the Spanish version.
But do you have any metrics to say, like, people are much more likely to be able to use a specific or do a specific task with your application than they were on their own? Or how are you measuring success?
Well, many of our users are going into libraries, and there aren't any other tools like ours. And so really there's nowhere else in the market to go. And the feedback from users is that, one, they're either embarrassed about not knowing how to use the internet, or they just are kind of scared about learning how. And so really we have a unique challenge in that we don't have any direct competitors. There are institutions that provide services to libraries in terms of collections and things, but there's no one that really provides a robust digital literacy platform. And so that kind of is our grand experiment, is how can we drive people? And we decided to use social gaming simply because it's a friendly entry point.
Have you paid attention to, there's a lot of federal services available for people that are in unemployment. So there are services that they provide, and I don't know if they've researched it and created the programs themselves, or if they've actually licensed with maybe even a company like you guys. But what they will provide is, they'll provide resume building tools, they'll provide job searching tools, all these things online. Have you guys looked and researched into what some of those federal programs are in relation to what your service is trying to do, which right now it seems your biggest focus is on finding jobs?
Yeah, so our focus is on digital literacy meets jobs, and right now there's actually a skills gap. So if you were to walk into a workforce development center, they might give you a bunch of tools, but many of those tools are online. So if you don't know how to use the internet, they're giving you resources that might be helpful later on, but until you get that basic education on internet use, it's going to be impossible for you to use those tools.
So I think this is a wonderful initiative, and I mean, it's, you know, similar to kind of what Facebook's been talking about with internet.org. I think there's a lot of really tangible, just help give people these necessary skills. But how is this really a business? I mean, you talked about libraries and governments paying, but those are really hard places to really get the pay to build a sustainable business.
So actually, as we were testing, we had organizations that weren't libraries come to us and say, how can we get this? We really like it. They saw us present at conferences and other venues. And so that's where we got the idea for our business model. So we have a tiered subscription model, so you can subscribe to our data analytics system, and organizations need that data to meaningfully serve whoever they're trying to help. We also create custom content. We actually work with the Los Angeles County Office of Education. They have lessons on credit and how it impacts the employment process. They basically said, can you JobScoutify this? Can you put our lessons into your platform? So we did, and that actually is how we got our business model. People kind of came to us, let us know the market needs, and then we were able to create that model.
Oh, interesting.
So it felt like there were two different products that I was seeing, maybe because you started out as one thing and you became something else, but there's this job, search for job listings and managing that whole process, and there was this like, I don't know, it felt, when you were talking about that, like an FAQ or more of a, and so it's gonna be hard to do both, so all right, which is more important to you?
So the parent company is Trail, and sort of our goal is to create Trail as a platform eventually. We started out focusing on jobs. One of the things that we realized out the gate is that it's not that people don't want to learn, but they kind of have other things going on in their lives. And one of those things when we started was needing to find a job. And so we really wanted to focus on teaching the digital literacy skills. And many of our users aren't even looking for a job. They just like taking the lessons. We wanted a relevant context. We also built in-site features so that they could practice their internet skills on our site before kind of going out into the internet wild.
But you do have a full job kind of search and management kind of process? Like it seemed like you built something that...
Yeah. So we tried to provide those tools as well so that it was not only the digital literacy skills,
Right.
but that you could actually apply them immediately. And that's actually something that we measure. And so we're measuring on our site, is someone actually creating a resume? Are they searching for jobs? Are they applying? And I think that's a way to address the first question, which is how do we know they're being successful? Because they're taking steps on our platform and actually accomplishing a goal.
What's your biggest barrier to entry in getting people that you would identify as people that need your help into getting them to, one, understand that you exist, and B, to be able to find the access to get it? Like, some of it to me seems like there's a digital divide that has a lot to do with money, unfortunately. So how do you guys go and find the people for the right reasons, whether it's a monetary reason for not having access to the internet versus not understanding what they can do with it?
Yeah, so we tried to address that in several ways. First is using trusted community institutions as a point of entry. People are already going in there and seeking these support services. And second is to provide mobile applications. Many of our users their family might decide to buy as a pay-as-you-go smartphone, and so for them, the mobile option is a better option because they can use it whenever. And so we tried to tackle both markets, both the offline institution and then mobile use.
All right, so we're out of time. That was Trail. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.